Tuesday, October 31st, and welcome to the Damon Bruce Show. It's great to have you here. An awful lot to get into. I've got a lunch downtown, so we're going to have a quick one here today, but I think it's going to be a good one because we got a lot to get into. Are you ready? Are you feeling it? I hope so. The 49ers have until 1 o'clock West Coast time. That's it. 1 o'clock West Coast time to do something. To do something, right? The deadline is tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. It's officially happening. So it's time. It's time to do something. You can't A.J. Pollock this deadline and essentially do nothing. With all due respect to Randy Gregory, it's officially time to do something. So it feels like adding another edge rusher feels like an overspend. I know that Montez Sweat is now off the board. The Chicago Bears brought him in. And all I'm going to tell you is you probably shouldn't do things that the Chicago Bears are doing. I don't know if edge rushers mean quite what they used to this league with the day that everything is, pretty much to getting the ball out fast enough so your edge rusher doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter. 3 corners. I want to see one of these 3 names by 1 o'clock. Chicago's Jalen Johnson, who, by the way, is officially invited to go seek a trade by the Bears. Again, that's so Bears. We're going to add an edge rusher as they go down in value and get rid of a young corner. That is just the most Chicago Bears thing ever. Denver's K'Wan Williams. How about a little reunited with K'Wan Williams? That could happen. Dante Jackson of Carolina is a player that, again, no one's a fan of Steve Wilks right now, but he's got some familiarity with what Steve Wilks wants to do. What Steve Wilks wants to do has become quite a subject around here lately. So, man, we got some stuff to get into today. Meanwhile, if it is going to be edge rusher, it feels like it needs to be so specifically significant, a specifically significant edge rusher that it's going to be a big cost. I'm talking Max Crosby. I'm talking Brian Burns. And I don't think either one of those guys is probably going to get moved today. Oh, first jingle jangle. This is from San Bruno Mike saying, Damon, are your legs regular or extra crispy? I have no idea what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Anyways, thank you very much for the jingle jangle. I do appreciate it. Okay, so Aaron Banks is out a few weeks, which is a very, just vague way to talk about it. Where I'm from, a couple means 2, a few means at least 3. So you telling me that Aaron Banks is going to miss the Jaguars game and the Buccaneers game? That's not great. That's not great because you're going to want to win both of those. You really are. Dre Greenlaw, day-to-day with a bad shoulder. If I were Kyle Shanahan, I'd be like, I don't even want to see you at the facility all week. Just go home and rest up. That's all I want to see out of you. Trent Williams is expected to return before the Jacksonville game kicks off. So there's your good news. So let's see what the 49ers do at the deadline. And by the way, the thing that I miss most about having a producer is if there's any breaking news during the show, you got to let me know about it. Like, I can't keep my eye on breaking news and host a show. So if something does happen before I got to get the cluck out of here, you let me know about it, okay? So, an awful lot of talk about Brock Purdy. Just too much talk about Brock Purdy. The fact that there's this much talk about Brock Purdy means that people haven't even really identified who he is or what the problem is. I thought that Dieter Kurtenbaugh of the San Jose Mercury News wrote a really good column about just the position that the 49ers, through their own play, has put Brock Purdy in. Dieter in the Merc wrote, first of all, he's not supposed to, he's not supposed to be the I find the path to victory level quarterback. That's not the role he's been asked to play this year. He's been asked to guide the reins, not really steer the car. These are Dieter's words. These 49ers were built to be a team that runs the ball, that has a catch-and-run passing game and plays elite defense. That's the kind of squad Brock Purdy, the NFL's cheapest starting quarterback, was meant to helm. But now the 49ers can't run the ball, they can't defend either, and without Deebo Samuel, their passing game has lost its yards after catch prowess, and the middle of the field isn't as open as it used to be. It's not a burden he's ready to carry. It's not a burden that he's supposed to carry. Purdy was, as head coach Kyle Shanahan said, one of the reasons why we were in the game on Sunday. Purdy's good was downright great. He makes the kind of big throws that no 49ers quarterback under Shanahan has even attempted, much less completed. Deep outs to the sideline, linebacker buzzers, improvisational flips, like he's getting an awful lot done. But amid the good, obviously the 49ers quarterback has peppered in some bad too. Now the bad is all people really want to focus on. The bad is all people really want to talk about. And that to me is just ridiculous, and it's missing the boat. So this is no longer Dieter now. This is me talking. You know, the 49ers are asking Purdy over the last 3 weeks essentially to be perfect and engineer game-winning drives like either on the road or against an AFC contender. That's a big ask, especially with Debo and Trent Williams out, as Dieter said. And it's a big ask for really someone who's played just one season of football. Brock Purdy's only started 17 regular season games. But what about the playoff? Well, he's won 2 playoff games, but no one wants to talk about that because that would be a compliment. Nobody's into complimenting Brock Purdy business these days. And I understand why people are mad. You know, that last taste in your mouth, if you go to a restaurant and, you know, even though the salad and the appetizer and the entree were okay, if they come out and deliver just a flop of a dessert, you're going to walk away feeling differently about your meal, no matter how well everything else went. Really, what fans want, what his harshest critics are asking him to be, is on that list of quarterbacks who can go out and win games all by himself. And really, that list of quarterbacks is a one-man list. It's Patrick Mahomes. And guess what? Patrick Mahomes just lost last weekend. So there is no perfect quarterback out there. There isn't. That is a perfect sip of the day, though. That was good. Fans that are demanding perfection shouldn't even be handed the menu because they don't even know what restaurant they're sitting in, much less what they might want to order for the table. There's a lot of disingenuous overreaction to a player that they decided that they didn't like through all sorts of data points of, hey, this guy's pretty good. And you're seeing it carry out, not just locally, but nationally. Brock Purdy is the new thread to pull on for everyone this week, and everyone is pulling on it and yanking on it. And it's, you know, it's part of being a big boy professional athlete, isn't it? So, welcome to the spotlight, Brock Purdy. I think you've handled it pretty well. Cut down on those interceptions, engineer 1 or 2 game-winning drives. Please just take your critics and just dismiss them. He's a really good young quarterback. Considering the price point, it's outstanding, right? And even though the 49ers offense has been stuck on 17 the last 3 weeks, this defense is losing these games. I saw this from Nick Wagner. Through the first 5 games of the season, the 49ers defense allowed just 10 plays of 20-plus yards, the fewest in the NFL in that span. These past 3 weeks, they've allowed 15 plays of 20 or more yards, the second most in the NFL. You know, the 49ers did not have a bend, don't break defense. They had a stand you up, hit you in your mouth, bully you defense that has not been, it'll go a full month. Since this is a bye week, we will go a full month without that 49ers defense rearing its head. So it's officially time for this team to do something before this deadline expires to get them a little bit better because they need to be a whole lot better the whole way around. Again, Steve Wilks, easy punching bag. No one likes the new kid, right? Players got to play better, straight up across the board. And if you need better players to play better, go get them. And if you got to mortgage the future a little bit, if you want to say, well, we're not a player away, what do you mean you're not a player away from winning a championship? 5 weeks ago, you were going to go undefeated and be Super Bowl champions, from what I heard. So don't give me any of this, well, we're not a player away bullshit. Go get more talent. Go back to winning football games. It's probably easier said than done, but that's my official recommendation. My official recommendation for you is that it's time to go have a delicious lunch. And if you want one of those, you need to get yourself to Ike. Oh, my man Ike's cardboard is a little off center. Need to move it a little bit more this way. Come on over, buddy. Because the superimposed face should be covering up the Ike's face just a little. That's how I know it's in the right frame. So there we go. Maybe the kids were playing with it. Ike sandwiches are delicious. I really love the Jamie Sirewich. It's fried chicken. It's that yellow barbecue sauce that Ike's has. Today, I'm just feeling kind of like on a chicken sandwich type of mood. I think I might get a Jamie Sirewich a little bit later on. If not today, tomorrow. Today, again, I got a busy day. I got to go downtown. I got a little bit of a lunch meeting. Tomorrow is going to be a Jamie Sirewich day for me. I can feel it. I can feel it in the air. I can feel it in the air. It is a delicious sandwich. All of Ike's sandwiches are delicious. Find out for yourself. Use the Ike's Reward app. Start earning your way to free sandwiches. If you would like some free money for just wagering on sports, the man who is going to give you the best advice on that is my man Stefan. Stefan of Bottom Line Bets. Use promo code Bruce, and what do you know? You're going to get a free day of handicapping from a man who had an 8-0 weekend. He has been on fire. Go ahead and find out for yourself. You get one free day of handicapping. This won't be extended to you much longer. Promo code Bruce, Bottom Line Bets. Do you like money? If the answer is yes, go ahead and check out the service that Stefan is providing. It's exemplary. The man is feeling it as Vegas's most dangerous handicapper. One could even say he's not chicken. I'm not wearing a Jax t-shirt today, but when I do wear a Jax t-shirt, I want to tell you that you can go to jaxsf.com. You can get all of your holiday shopping there. If you are a fan of current or vintage Bay Area sports, it is the coolest t-shirt shop. They're brick and mortars on Chestnut Street in the Marina. jaxsf.com, 2 S's, Jackss, sf.com. Use promo code DamonBruce10 for 10% off your order. How about that? Does that sound good to you? Does that sound like a deal that you might want? I hope so. So, ready to talk a little basketball? I'm ready to talk a little basketball, and I certainly hope you are too, because it has officially taken 3 games for Chris Paul to win me over. I mean, I'm going to just give everyone a mulligan on that first night. The entire team shot poorly. The last 3 games, Chris Paul has been exemplary. He's been fantastic. When Curry sits, nothing falls apart. When Curry sat at any point in time last year, the entire team fell apart. Just was non-functional as a professional basketball team at times. And you can put it all on Jordan Poole, you can put it all on turnovers, whatever. But the absence of Jordan Poole and the absence of all those turnovers is, the reason why they just had a 3-0 road trip. I think they had 6 3-game winning streaks tops last year. Certainly none of those came with 3 wins on the road, including a back-to-back where you had Klay Thompson and Jonathan Kuminga sitting in New Orleans last night. It did not matter. They won their back-to-back, their 3rd straight in New Orleans. They controlled the entire game in the second half. That 3rd quarter hit, and it was all Warriors after that. 2 rookies on the court at the same time. Trayce Jackson-Davis and Brandin Podziemski. Here, actually, I do have a little bit of a costume for Halloween. Since we're talking some Trayce, I need to get the candy stripes on. Whenever we go Trayce, we go full candy stripes. Trayce Jackson-Davis had a rebound taken away from him last night to take away his first career triple-double. It happened after the game was final. I looked at the box score. I'm like, triple-double with 4 blocks? I refreshed it. Not even 5 minutes later, they took a rebound away from him. That stinks. But man, Trayce Jackson-Davis, Indiana, we're all for you. I told you. I want him to get minutes over Dario Saric right now. Trayce Jackson-Davis had 4 blocks in an NBA game before Victor Wembanyama, for goodness sakes. Before Victor Wembanyama, who is 7 foot 15 inches. Trayce Jackson-Davis. He's got timing. He will fundamental you to death. I'm texting with some buddies of mine in Indiana. They're like, how's Trayce looking? I'm like, he's just foot working these mother cluckers to death. Trayce. Woo! I like it. I hope you liked it too. Brandin Podziemski. Brandin Podziemski has got some squabbles on him. 8 rebounds, 5 points, 2 assists. He's plus 15 in 23 minutes off the bench. That is the best any young player has looked under Kerr with, before they reached 5 games into their career. These two guys are a rookie class that can get some minutes on this team. Trayce for sure. Brandin Podziemski in the first look. Again, you pull down rebounds like that, you can play. You can play. Speaking of you can play, Chris Paul playing next to Gary Payton has brought out the best Gary Payton, the second, GP2. I mean, can't we just pretend that there's another Gary Payton and that way it could be CP3 and GP3? He looks better than ever. He's playing really good basketball right now for the Warriors. Anthony Slater says the Warriors are plus 31 in Curry's 65 minutes off the court so far this year. That is an equation changer. An absolute equation changer. This is Crash SF Giants. Oh, what are we laughing at? Is there something going on behind me? Is there something behind me? Curry is on an absolute heater to start the year. He scored 27 on a bad shooting night for the entire team in the opener. The Warriors went 3-0 with him, dropping 41 on the Kings, 24 on the Rockets, and 42 on the Pelicans. And he hasn't played more than 35 minutes in any game. This is a great start for Curry. Therefore, it's a great start for the Warriors. It's a great start for Trayce Jackson-Davis. It's a great start for Chris Paul. Draymond is now back in the mix. It's a great start. Welcome on back, GP2. This is starting to look good, and the Warriors are getting back to being the best team on TV, the best show on TV again. I love it. I love it. Uh-oh, Crash is worried about that A.J. Pollock trade deadline. I hope it's gold. They need a little gold. What came first, the chicken or the brood? What are we talking about? We'll get into Club Plus in just a little bit. I've got some good news about Joe Lacob, who has finally caught a break for the first time in his unlucky life. Did you see that Chase Center is going to be the host of the 2025 All-Star Game and the weekend's activities and festivities? Good to see Joe Lacob again finally catch a break with that tiny little mom and pop basketball operation that he runs. The only thing I can tell you is that the 2025 All-Star Game feels like a really good time to have San Francisco back up and running and getting that downtown cleaned up a little bit, right? Let's get it done. Little civic pride, baby. Coming on back. Coming on back. So, the other bit of NBA news to tell you about is James Harden got his way. That SOB. James Harden has forced his way to the LA Clippers, the two most never won a goddamn thing entities in the NBA are finally together. Clippers can't win anything. James Harden never won anything, are finally together. It's really the perfect match. They deserve each other. The 76ers sent Harden, P.J. Tucker, and Philippe Petruzzi to the Clippers for Marcus Morris, Robert Covington, Nick Batum, K.J. Martin, a 2028 unprotected first rounder, 2 second-round picks, and a 2029 pick swap, and an additional first-round pick from the Oklahoma City Thunder. James Harden got the 76ers, what? It's kind of the poo-poo platter? It's not very impressive. Hold on, quick cough. Thank you. I can't wait to watch James Harden demand a trade from the Los Angeles Clippers. It's what he does. He's the get me out of here guy. The minute anything goes wrong or gets tough, he is get me out of here. I love it. I love it. They're perfect for each other. Did you watch any of the World Series last night? Because if you ask that question and just about anybody you're sitting next to in America, the answer is a decidedly no. Now, I got to be honest, if it weren't for Bruce Bochy, I wouldn't be half as interested as I am. But because, I'm like an American-born sports fan, I'm always going to be interested in the World Series. I don't care who is in it. It's the stakes that are compelling, not necessarily the teams or the markets or the players. It's the stakes that I'm there for. So Rangers and Diamondbacks, look, if I called you on Sunday night and was like, hey, what's going on? You want to come on over? It's Sunday night baseball on ESPN, Rangers and Diamondbacks. You want to come on over for that? You'd be like, nah. I mean, it's not a sexy matchup. It isn't. It's a matchup I would never go out of my way to watch an inning of during the regular season. But again, it's not only is it not the regular season, it's the World Series. Well, that doesn't mean anything to America either. Game 1 was awesome. There was a rally in the ninth inning with a 2-run home run, then a walk-off extra inning home run, and viewership for that game. Again, okay, so maybe you didn't watch the first 9 innings, but when you see on Twitter, hey, the World Series is in extra innings after a 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth, are you going to tune in for that? We used to say yes to that. America said no to that. 9.17 million viewers. It is the lowest viewership all time in the World Series. Any game, any year, any matchup, it's the lowest amount of human beings to ever watch a World Series. The bubble World Series between the Dodgers and the Devil Rays got a better rating than that, with no fans, being played in an empty stadium. And Fox is really trying to hype this, right? Fox is giving you an all-star game pregame show with Derek Jeter and A-Rod and David Ortiz, and they're bringing in Kevin Burkhardt, and if I can quote Gary Radnich, nobody cares. Nobody cares. $9.17 million viewers for the World Series. Hey, Boch is up 2-1. Fox is hoping that Bruce Bochy will win the next 2 games. They'll get better ratings with Grey's Anatomy reruns, right? So they're hoping that this World Series ends. It's not going to be saved by a Game 7 or any compelling anything. It's just not going to happen. All I can tell you is that if America had to vote, what are you going to keep? The World Series or Mr. Beast on YouTube? Mr. Beast would win almost unanimously. Mr. Beast just posted a video 3 days ago called The World's Deadliest Laser Maze. It's got 65 million views. 65 million views. That's half of an American Super Bowl audience, dwarfing the World Series. It's amazing. So look, I told you I got a downtown lunch meeting that I got to get to. And that means it's officially time for us to hop into Club Plus. I want to thank everyone listening on the podcast. Once again, we have topped our most amount of podcast downloads ever. Month over month, we have grown again, thanks to you. We are officially, I think we're 6 followers away from 8,800. Let me see. Where are we now? 5 followers away from 8,800. Again, I really kind of wanted to get to 10,000 before Thanksgiving. It's not going to happen unless everybody gets real aggressive. So thank you so much. Please ask a family member. If you subscribe to Damon Bruce, it doesn't matter if you watch it or not. Just subscribe to Damon and help this thing grow. That's how you help me out an awful lot, by helping my sponsors, by helping this grow. Hit that like button, make the algorithm be happy, happy, happy. And that sounds really good to me. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It grows, the channel grows. I thank you. Thank you very much. We're entering month number 7 when we get to November already. Time flies over here on the Plus. Time flies. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. Let me turn this off. Get some sexy looking. Sexy. Okay. Turn it off. Ooh. I guess I can lose the candy stripes too. Take off my one and only costume for the day. All right. So where are we here? Oh, Cowboy says, hey, we're just one new defensive coordinator away. I mean, look, Steve Wilks has not represented himself great these last couple weeks. Everyone on that team is kind of throwing him under the bus. And it's not a throw people under the bus type of team. So there really must be a little bit of a doubting in Steve Wilks that is running through that building. And if Kyle Shanahan detects that, he should fire him. I don't know if it's going to happen. The Carolina Gold. Let's go. That's that Carolina Gold barbecue sauce. Drew Down knows what I'm talking about. That sauce is used on the Mad Bum, too. It is. It's, I believe, also used on the Beast Mode. Thank you very much. I love, that is H3N. Is that Hen? Let's go ahead and tell Ikes his sandwiches are delicious. The fact that you can quote what your favorite sauce is on a sandwich means it's working. Go get Jim Schwartz. What are you talking about? He is not available. You know, I love ideas. Like, we can brainstorm all we want, but at least we have to, you know, operate in reality. Yosarian talking about chicken puns. I'm sorry, that lays an egg with me. I'm sorry. Smiley Dan. Woo, I cannot wait until TJD. He's already better than James Wiseman. Oh, he's 10 times the player James Wiseman will ever be. All right, what else we got going on? There you go. Ikes is like, nah, Niners didn't need Montez. I agree with you. I don't think they need another defensive end. I don't think defensive ends carry the value that they did just three months ago. They don't. The entire league is adjusted to all these stud, highly paid defensive ends. We're not even going to let them get to our quarterback. The entire offense is going to happen. And by the way, this is kind of something that Kyle Shanahan pioneered. Let's have this entire offense just run in an 18-yard box. Just get the ball out as fast as possible. We're going to go 15 yards downfield. We're going to go 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and the entire game is going to happen right in there. What do you know? The entire NFL is copying the 49ers running game, which I think is another reason why the league is caught up to them there. And they're copying now Kyle Shanahan's passing game. And oh, by the way, if you'd like to know how good of a coach Kyle Shanahan is, check out Jimmy Garoppolo and what he's doing without him. Jimmy Garoppolo is basically turned into a non-functioning quarterback. Now, he would be a frustrating quarterback with the 49ers at times, but non-functioning was never really an issue. Look at him now. Look at what the Raiders look like now. They'd be nuts to not trade Devontae Adams today. When the ball is in the air, expect to see TJD under the rim. He understands positioning. He knows where to be on the court. He knows how to get a rebound. There is a level of knowing how to play the game that, again, James Wiseman, through no fault of his own, because he was rushed through the system because of his physical prowess, he doesn't know how to play the game. Even though Trayce Jackson-Davis isn't like a tiny, small guy out there, he didn't have enough physical prowess and enough of a shot to get drafted early. And this is what you get when you have as complete a rookie as Steve Kerr has ever had. And our dear friend, Chef A, who's going to be a Plus Mania, baby. Plus Mania 2 Electric Boogaloo coming up November 5th at Victory Hall. Damon, what do you say about Kerr not playing rookies now? Your boy got hella playing time in that first quarter. Maybe he just doesn't play bad rookies, crappy rookies. Yeah, that's the thing. Steve has got to gain trust in him. The trust in Trayce Jackson-Davis took a huge step forward in New Orleans. You watch him be a part of this rotation. You watch him. Again, he's got 4 blocks before Victor Wembanyama, and Cowboys says, Wemby doesn't like to play under the rim. TJD will end the year with more rebounds than Wembanyama. I mean, I don't know about that necessarily, but he might end the year with more blocks. Maybe he's going to have more rebounds too. Ooh, Ike is in New Orleans for Halloween. It's Halloween? Nobody told me. I had no idea. Bamboo Soldier. Zion looks slow. Oh, by the way, it's 16th birthday for Ike's. Happy birthday. 16th anniversary for Ike's. That's awesome, man. What an absolute business that man has created. Happy birthday to Ike's. I love it. I love it. I don't know if I don't know if Ike is going to be at Plus Mania 2 if he's in New Orleans right now. But of course, we'd love to see him there. Having him come on out just shows you what kind of level of support he has given me since day one. And it means the world to me. How lucky am I to have a friend like that? SG Sports Talk. Hi, Damon. Hi. What are the ratings for this World Series? Horrific. Like, I don't have the actual number for me, but when you tell me that the fewest amount of people to ever watch a World Series game is what Game 1 got, it's horrific. That cough that I've had, Chef A against his Damon, maybe it's the avian flu. I haven't been any, no, birds haven't gotten me. Thank you. What else we got going on here in the chat? Again, I need to get going in just a little bit. Damon, who should the 49ers get? We went over this. I want Jalen Johnson, K'Wan Williams, or Dante Jackson. These are 3 cornerbacks, one from Chicago, the other from Denver, the other from Carolina. It's time to add another corner. I don't need another edge rusher. If we want to get another edge rusher for depth, all right, great. I don't know if this team can spend more money on that line before it addresses a clear weakness in the secondary. That's what I want. I want the secondary to get better. SG Sports Talk. Damon, I would like to collab with you. Okay, well, you know what? Do me a favor. DM me on Twitter, and that's how we'll start our conversation together. But I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Speaking of a little collaboration, let me tell you what we got coming up today. I can't remember exactly what time I got this scheduled. I got to open this up to figure it out real quick. Hold on. Today at 3 o'clock, this afternoon, it's the premiere of my conversation with Josiah Johnson, the king of NBA Twitter. Great guy. We had a wonderful conversation about his career, his background, where he wants to go in his career, the Gil Arena show that the podcast that is a YouTube thing that he hosts. It's a really good show too, by the way. I love Josiah Johnson. In a world where people are just yelling at each other, he's always making me laugh when I see the stuff that he tweets about. The guy is a total, true, modern comedic genius. It really is. So what else? AJ Cruz saying, Mr. Beast is my kid's hero. Here's the deal. I'm not a fan of that kind of genre, but there's no denying. Like I don't need to see a video like, what's the difference between a $1 million house and a $100 million house? Like just the difference is one sucks, one is incredible. Like I don't even need to see the video. I'm not that curious, but you cannot deny the cultural touch point that guy is tapping into. He is a monster in the media. I mean, Major League Baseball couldn't afford to buy advertising time on Mr. Beast's YouTube channel. I'm pretty sure of that. Guy is a monster. And he did it from his ground up, man. I mean, it is pretty inspiring as you're trying to, do your own thing. You can't help but look at that and just say, damn. Like, I wish I could have a 10-minute meeting with that guy. So, what else we got? What else do we got going on here? Jaguars just got an O-lineman, Nick Nice, 21, in a trade. I don't know who that is. I'm going to have to take your word for it there. Mrs. Plus, knowing that I need some eyes on some breaking news, she says, thanks for keeping us all abreast of important sports things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What else we got going on here? The only thing, look, some people are, what do you got? Cowboy again. Cowboy's all over this chat today. Hello, Cowboy. Hope you're subscribing. Harden gets a 40-point game, but it's going to come at the expense of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And look, I just know for a fact that James Harden doesn't produce winning basketball. He produces selfish basketball. He produces look at my box score basketball, but he's not a winner. And I don't think there's any argument to be made that the Clippers are a better team with James Harden. Like, even if they are, ultimately at the end of the year, they won't be. The team that has never won a goddamn thing is now going to be marrying itself to a player on the back end of his career who's never won a goddamn thing. So, all I can tell you is that it is a good day. It's going to be a fun day. I got two very excited kids who went off to school today. They're going to come home. They've got just candy on the mind. I don't know why. Is today a day that, is associated with candy? Is people handing out candy? My wife, again, keeping you abreast of things, making sure everyone remains in a pecking order, also wants to say Damon's getting all cocky about his IU guy. He sure is, man. TJD. TJD can PLAY. I heard Bonte on the postgame. They did an interview with him on TV, and they're like, oh, what's your nickname, man? This is what happens when a station lets go of a Hoosier right before a Hoosier is big involved. What's his nickname? You fucking paying attention? Good God. What is this? I'm guessing you're baked chicken, not fried. Ganja chicken jokes? I see what you're doing. Okay. What do we got here? We got Smiley Dan. Getting excited to see all of you cluckers this Sunday. Thanks for all you do, DB. Smiley Dan, I'm looking forward to meeting you. We got a lot of music to talk about, brother. Damon, the Dubs have no big man. We're not winning it at all time, anytime soon. Here's the thing. You don't need a big man. The Golden State Warriors never have embraced the big man, but for Andrew Bogut, to be totally honest with you. JaVale McGee was here, but didn't do much. David West, let's be honest, his involvement in championships was over-exaggerated. The Warriors are at their best when they're playing small ball. It's who they are. Your big man is Draymond Green. Your big man is Kayvon Looney, and who holds his own with anybody. And wait and you see what Trayce Jackson Davis is at the end of the year. Okay? Game and Money TV. I don't know if you just got here, but the Golden State Warriors are at their best when they embrace small ball. At their absolutely best. So, be who you are. Be who you are. Damon, can you get JT the Brick back on so we can talk about that despicableness? Look, what's left to say? That guy's not a head coach. That team is poorly crafted, created from the ground up. They've got two good players. They should trade them both. Max Crosby and Devontae Adams should be traded by the deadline today. It's not like you're selling season tickets to anyone. There is no Las Vegas Raider fan in Las Vegas to be found. No one gives a fuck about that team in Las Vegas. It's all about come on into town and see the NFL show of the out-of-town team. So you can trade every Raider that you want and just start over again. That's what I would do. I would get a new coach. That's right. Mark Davis is still cash poor. So none of that is going to happen. And because Mark Davis does not know what he's doing, because the amount of look at it this way. You can take the Raiders out of Oakland, but you can't take the bumbling, we have no clue what we're doing out of the Raiders. It's who they are. It's what defines them, to be completely honest with you. And it has for years. What else we got going on? What else we got going on here? What do we got? RIP Cougar Rebel. Who the hell is Mr. Beast? Go to YouTube. I think you'll find out. All right. Was it Ezra Cleveland? Is that who got traded? Ezra Cleveland. Again, when John Lynch was walking around in Minnesota talking about possible trading partners, Ezra Cleveland probably came up, but no, he is gone. I mean, look, if you don't have Kirk Cousins to protect anymore, why not? Chase Young to the 49ers? Did that just happen? Did Al B share that with me? Oh, hey, Danny Golden, thank you very much. 7 bones going into the ganja jar. Giants fan in Arizona, I definitely have an interest in this World Series with Bruce Bochy going against my hometown team. Yeah, you're in. America is out. The Niners just made a huge move. They got Chase Young. Well, so if I'm playing the Niners, now I'm just getting the ball out in 2 seconds. I hope that's a real difference maker. I mean, yes, the Niners technically just got better. Ohio State all over. Chase Young and Bosa, obviously, that defensive line. But you need a corner. You need a corner. Still need a corner. What did they give up? I don't even know what they gave up for him. We got Zothamus. Chase Young for a 3rd rounder. Okay. I mean, that feels like good value. Chase Young, not bad. Not bad, but honestly, I'm not in love with it. I'm not in love with it. Now, maybe he shows up and he is exactly the missing ingredient that turns that defensive line back into a monster, and NFL offensive coordinators go back to calling offense from 2 years ago, and 5 and 7 step drops make everybody more vulnerable. If this is the move that makes that defensive line wake up, I like it. I still think they need a cornerback. What's Chase Young's back pedal? But not bad. It's okay. You need another corner. What corner are you getting for the third rounder that you just flipped for Chase Young? All right. The chat is a flying. And it's time for me to get flying too. But Chase Young. All right. Chase Young. Again, I wish I was a little bit more excited about that. Jalen Johnson is now what? Off the board? K'Wan Williams, Dante Jackson, they need a cornerback. They need a cornerback. Sky Collins, ouch. Have you timed Chase Young's speed to the blue tent? It's outstanding. Gonna need a corner. Gonna need a corner. Okay? Gonna need a corner. So I hope they're not done. I hope they're not done. By the way, this is a very good point. E. Scott Burns says Drake Jackson is now extinct. I mean, they should package Trayce Jackson to somebody for a corner. Just or they should package Drake Jackson for a corner. I mean, I want to like it. I want to like it. But I'm afraid it's not nearly the effective move that the 49ers need. Did they just get faster? Is someone going to set the edge? Is someone going to go ahead and make it impossible for a quarterback to break contain and get around the edge? Are they a better run defensive team with Chase Young? They better be. They better be. Is it just straight up a third rounder for Chase Young? Not bad. But why is Washington really saying we don't need a player of this ilk anymore? Go and get a cornerback. Your problems are in your secondary. Does this make things a little bit easier on the secondary? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Go watch some Chase Young, Damon, says Mo. Yeah, I've seen him. I know about him. I know all about him. He's got more sacks than Nick Bosa. That's great. A lot of guys have more sacks than Nick Bosa, which is a problem. And I don't think that Nick Bosa forgot how to play. I just think the style of play that Nick Bosa flourishes in might not even exist anymore. I mean, is Chris Kasurek going to be able to put in the defensive stunts that he used to? Or is that going to be Steve Wilks still calling it across a defensive line? And Steve Wilks isn't nearly as imaginative as Chris Kasurek has been. It's a headline move. It's a splashy move. Is it the right move? Is it the most effective move? I really don't know. Look at it this way. Are you still playing that soft zone? Because if you are, you're not better. Are you still playing a soft zone? They need a cornerback. If they end today without a cornerback, I don't know how much better just Chase Young alone would get them. Why Randy Gregory? The asset that you gave up for Randy Gregory could have maybe been packaged. It just feels like, I don't know. Like I would, if you told me that they came away with a right tackle for a third rounder, I think I'd feel a little bit better than that. Or a new center for a third rounder, I'd feel a little bit better about it. I mean, I don't hate the move, but I'm not crazy, goofy, in love with it. To me, it feels like they've just added to something that doesn't create the value add that it used to. Football changes, and you either are ahead of that change or you get caught behind it. I wonder if the next group of players to see their salaries not be quite what they used to be a few years from now might be these edge rushers who are commanding quarterback level money. Absolutely need, in the 1 hour that John Lynch has basically, he's got an hour and 9 minutes to go get a corner. Let's see if he can do it. I like Chase Young as a player. Chase Young for a third rounder, again, say it out loud. That sounds easy, right to do. I wonder if that third rounder couldn't have gotten you Jalen Johnson, who I think should be out there. An old dirty hungus. You know, you're right. Old dirty hungus says, look, this defensive end combo should scare the living shit out of every quarterback and offensive coordinator in the league. Every single offensive coordinator and quarterback in the league is so scared of defensive ends that they decided we're not going to let these guys get to us anymore. We are going to go ahead and get the ball out faster than these guys can even get to us. So we'll see. Mo's a big fan. Mo says this is the best thing that they could get at a position of need. Again, do you need a defensive end when you have Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave and Eric Armstead making what they're all making? And then you got Randy Gregory. Didn't that address a position of need? Probably not a lot of good corners on the market willing to give up the Niners right now, maybe. Look, the Chicago Bears have said to the league, come get Jalen Johnson. You know, how's Chase Young play against the run? Is he an absolute monster against the run? Does he blow just running backs off their feet going backwards because he's that good against the run? I'll like it a little bit more. So we'll see what ends up happening in the remaining hour of the NFL trade deadline. In the meantime, it was great having you here today. Josiah Johnson premier conversation comes up at 3 o'clock on my channel. I hope you plan on checking that out. It's a great conversation with a funny, interesting guy. I hope you plan on dropping on by Victory Hall this Sunday, starting around 1 o'clock. We're going to get going and hang out together as the great community that we've officially built here. You guys, you gals, you're all absolutely awesome. Thank you for being a part of today's show. Thank you for coming on by and watching. It means an awful lot. I'm sorry that I got to run to lunch, but that's what I got to do. Things are happening around the world that I got to be involved in here. So I thank you very much for tuning in. And please do remember, you don't have to go home. You just can't stay here, mother cluckers. Bye-bye!